The company in focus now is Reliance Infrastructure. They've proposed to build the Bandra Sea Link with Astaldi in 5 years. Lalit Jalan, the CEO of the company, now joins us on the telephone line with more on the contours of this plan. Mr. Jalan, good afternoon. To begin with, could you talk about what's your stake in the JV, what's the timeline, when will construction begin, what will be the revenue contribution and so on?
Good afternoon and thank you for having me on the call. So this is the Versova-Bandra Sea Link. It's one of the largest urban infra projects in India. It's a 17.2 kilometer sea link with 4 outlets connecting to the mainland between Bandra and Versova. The timeline for the project is 60 months from letter of award, which is on Saturday. And we have already started the pre-work. And immediately after monsoon, we will start work on the construction. And we expect to finish the project ahead of the schedule of 60 months, which has been given to us. The total revenue of the project over the next 4 years, 4.5 years, will be 7,000 crores. And this will be straight EPC revenue for us.
So what did you say, Mr. Jalan, your stake in the joint venture was?
It's a 50-50 joint venture with Astaldi of Italy. Astaldi is one of world's largest EPC contractors. It's the third largest bridge contractor with a revenue in excess of 3 billion euros.
Okay, we have a researcher, Anisha Jain, also joining in. Anisha, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jalan, for speaking with us. The first up I wanted to understand regarding the infrastructure business, your order book is burgeoning at around 20,000 odd crores. You're getting orders right from the power business, the road business, railways. Where do you see the strongest outlook coming from, and where's the demand? How's the demand looking like?
Yeah, so with the current order, our order book moves up to 27,000 crores. And we see, we have orders over the last year and a half. We have taken orders in the power sector, including the nuclear power sector. We have got the award from NPCIL. We have also got an award from NTPC for the fluidized gas defluidizer. In the transportation sector, we have won awards in metros, railways, roads. And in heavy civil, we have won awards in tunnels and mega infra projects like this, Bandra Sea Link. We find, given the current situation of the private sector in the infra space, we see huge demand for EPC orders. In fact, between mainly Government of India projects and big state projects, we see almost 300,000 crores worth of contracts being given out year after year, and these will be across these spaces.
Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to check with you was regarding the deal that you had signed with Adani Group for the Mumbai power distribution business. Now, there were some concerns that the deal might not go through, given there were some red flags raised regarding the power tariff hikes. Can you tell us if you have got the approval from MERC or the Mumbai Electricity Board, and have you received any cash consideration for the transaction?
Yeah, so I'm saying let's just focus on the EPC business for this call, and we will have a separate time. We can discuss the Adani transaction and any other thing that you might wish on a separate call. But since you have asked the question, the deal is totally on track, and we expect to close it in the first quarter.
The other thing that I wanted to check regarding the infrastructure business was that there was a plan to bring in the InvIT. It was filed last year as well. Has that plan been shelved, because we haven't heard any update regarding that?
No, on the InvIT, what has happened is that the market has not appreciated the product.
Okay.
So if you see the existing InvITs which are listed are selling substantially discount to the value at which they had given out. So we have shelved the idea of the InvIT.
So, sir, what are you doing now? Are you looking to sell these assets on a piecemeal basis? What are you doing to bring down your debt? Because you have been talking about getting to zero level when it comes to the net debt.
No, so even without doing anything, I mean, our debts have come down substantially last year. And with this Adani transaction and our DMRC award, we expect to move to cash positive by the end of the year.
What is the total debt on it?
We are separately working to monetize our road assets.
Okay.
And get in discussion with some strategic players.
What exactly is the total debt on your books, Mr. Jalan, as we speak?
The debt is to the tune of 12,000 crores.
12,000 crores.
So the other thing that I wanted to check was regarding the metro and the naval business. Now the auditors have raised some concerns regarding material uncertainty about the going concern capability of these two businesses. What is the resolution plan? Because you have been able to take out Reliance Naval from CDR earlier. There are arbitration claims that are pending. Maybe the situation will be better if you get the arbitration claim regarding the 5,000 that you have with Reliance Naval, 3,000 odd crores that you have with the metro business as well.
As I mentioned that we had requested for this call only for the EPC business. Should you have any other EPC business questions, I'll be happy to answer.
But no concerns with regard to, no developments on the auditor's concerns that were raised with the company, sir?
I don't think you're understanding my answer. I said let's focus on the EPC. If we have finished all the EPC questions, then we can discuss on all the other points that you want on a separate day.
No, we understand that because the street is liking what you're saying with regards to the EPC business. The stock is at the high point of the day. However, it's our duty to inform the shareholders about the other happenings in the company as well.
We will definitely have a separate time to discuss all those issues.
Okay, so coming back to the EPC business then, are you going to focus on the HAM projects as well that have been floated by NHAI? And what is the equity requirement for the order book that you have in right now? Is funding in place for the order book that you have right now?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So EPC business by the very nature is a negative working capital business. The equity requirement is not there. Whatever equity that we needed for having equipment, etc., is all already in place. The only thing that is needed is some initial non-fund limits which we have in place. So which is performance bank guarantees and advance bank guarantees. And it will be a self-funding business. So no separate equity requirement is there.
So the reason
we have all the approvals in place.
No, sir, the reason I asked it because you had recently taken approval for QIP of around 2,000 odd crores. So is that something that might happen given the requirement, or if you're saying there's no requirement, there might be no QIP in the near future then?
No, QIP is an enabling resolution.
Okay.
And we do it for strengthening our balance sheet.
Okay, sir.
All right, Mr. Jalan, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining in. So that's the word coming in from the management of Reliance Infra. We'll take a very quick break, come back in a bit. There's lots more lined up on the other side. In fact, we have the management of Interlight Design Arena who will be joining in to talk about the quote.